Welcome to my Miniaturist studio. I've been doing lots of little things today, as I usually do. I've been working on the Beacon Hill house, but I'm waiting for something there. I'm waiting for the weather to get warmer so I can get into the garage and do some machining for the wood for the Tudor house. And so while I'm doing all this waiting, I'm working on the room box that I spoke to you about a couple of days ago. So first of all, with the Beacon Hill house, well, I'm waiting for the glasses because I didn't have enough, so I've ordered some online. So once they've arrived, we'll be partying. And with the Tudor room box, with the Tudor house, I want to get into the garage to machine these supports. You know, on my plan, they were coming down the sides, coming down on either side of the windows and the doors, and they're going to have grooves cut in them so that my foam board, which is 3mm, will fit into the groove. And it means that I can just slide everything in it when it's done properly. This is a sample. And I can do all my detail work on my desk flat, like the stones and the bricks, and then I can just slide them into the framework when I'm ready to. And that's going to mean this house is going to be built. You're going to see the progress as I'm doing it step by step quite easily. So I have to wait till it gets to be above 7 or 8 degrees in the garage before I can get in there to work. So while I'm doing all this waiting, I've been thinking about this room box that I talked to you about a couple of days ago, and I got some really lovely ideas. I was sport for choice, really. There was a steampunk idea I rather liked, the witch in the wardrobe one was quite good as well. But I went with the hall of mirrors because it was of mirrors and I didn't want to lose that effect. So I downloaded a few things on the Hall of Mirrors, and I have been there. Roger and I have been there. It is an amazing place. So I've sort of gone with the colour, the warm colour. I could have a cooler colour. I could do a tile cooler floor like that, but I think I quite like the warm one. I might go for the warm one. And for this, I think I'm only going to have 3 items in it. There's going to be a chandelier, a throne, which is a bit like that. It won't be exactly the same, but it'll be near enough. And Louis XIV himself, and this was an actor that played the part in a movie called The Sun King, I think. But with the real one, I think they did a reconstruction of his face, which I think made him quite handsome. I don't think he was that handsome, but I'm going to use him as a model for the figurine that I'm going to be putting on the throne. And here I've got a bit more detail on the arches, and I can cut those out on my Cricut machine, and I'll stick them on the side walls. I won't have to put anything on the back because the side walls reflect into the back. And the other thing I remembered was that years ago I remember about a magic box which had a hole in it, and you look through the hole and you could see the scene inside going into infinity inside. And so I can do this as an option. I can do an ordinary room box, people can see the scene, and I can also have a card that can be laid on the outside of the glass that goes down the front, and a little peephole in it. You can look into the peephole and you see the back of the sheet going into the distance. And I think that's going to be a bit of a challenge, but I'm looking forward to a little challenge every now and again. And I think with Louis, he's a challenge, and the throne's going to be a challenge, and the chandelier is certainly going to be a challenge because they've never made a successful one yet. So I should keep you, in the loop as I'm working my way through all these little things over the next month or so. And then the other thing I was doing was I'm finishing off my August issue of my magazine, and I'm doing some knitting patterns in it. And I did a knitting pattern of a Tudor cap, and Walter scored it because it fitted his head perfectly. I don't think he's going to wear it all the time, but he certainly quite likes it. It's keeping his ears warm. I might knit one for myself. And with the little Tudor chest, I finished that. I put a coat of furniture cream on it and polished it all up. It's got little drawers. So I'm really happy with that as well. So, lots of interesting things to keep me occupied in the next couple of months while the weather's getting a bit warmer, and I will keep you in the loop as I go along. So, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.